Hello, Teacher Muhammad. Hello, student. Did you get the news? War in Gaza stopped. And as I told you before, the terrorist group caused their country to be burned to the ground. What do you mean by the terrorist group? You know, the people in Gaza. They call themselves resistance. Their names starts with an H, has an M in the middle, and ends with an S. I can't say their names because this video would be banned by the power of the people they fight and their supporters. What's so funny? The opposite logic in your sentence. What do you mean? I mean, in the same sentence you call the people who are being attacked as the terrorists, and then you call the other side sons of monkeys, that they are not to be blamed for all the destruction and killing they have made. And at the end of the same sentence, you couldn't even mention the name of the people who are being attacked and killed. And guess what? Who would delete the video if you mention their names? The same people who are stealing their land and killing their innocent families and oppressing their supporters. But weren't they the people who started this war at first, on October the 7th, 2023? This is the story they would like to make you think that it is the reality, and to always make you feel the guilt of what happened. Isn't that true? Absolutely not. Listen, dear. October the 7th was the last reaction happened from this great resisting people. It should have happened 80 years ago, back before 1948. Oh, I get it. But they have been fighting continuously since that time, and they did no improvement. They returned no land. On the contrary, they have been losing land since then. All what they gained was death and life loss. This is what the sons of monkeys and their supporters and their propaganda machines would like you to think and believe. Because then, they know you lost your faith and you forgot the case you've always been fighting for. Why don't just they live together in peace and forget war? No real human would ever accept that. Ever. Why are you saying that? Isn't that their own special war, not ours? Whenever you accept other people to lose their rights, their lands, their lives, just because it's far from you, one day it's going to be your turn, and others are going to do to you the same thing you did to them before. But they caused their land to be burned. They caused their lands to be the greatest, well-known protected castles. They were the reason their family were killed. They were the reason their land was protected. They never ever would kill one member of their families. It is just lie to be used against them and against our people, not to support them from a killing machine called the Defense Army, which is miserable and desperate. Couldn't they have just given up their arms and saved all these souls from being lost and all this blood from being shed? They are standing where they are only because they are armed. It is the only way that led them to victory. It is the only language that their enemy understand. But what about those thousands of kids and women who were killed? We all know who killed them and how he killed them. But as you said before, it is not allowed to mention the killer's name. Otherwise, you're a terrorist, and then you have to be killed in silence. Houses are destroyed, but dignity is established. Many Muslim women and kids are killed. Yes, and they are martyrs, and hundreds of thousands of other new Muslims from everywhere are embracing Islam because of that faith and resistance. But the majority of Muslims didn't like this resistance, and they hate it, and they wish they could be destroyed. No, they are the minority, but unfortunately, a minority with a microphone and camera, so they could be easily heard and seen. But this is the benefit of hard times. They distinguish real people from hypocrites, and they work as filter so that they can decide who's good and who's bad, for the sake of the written history. Okay, teacher, but how do I know the reality in all these delusional events? It's easy. Whenever you feel delusional, put yourself in the position of those people. Imagine someone comes to your land and steals it and kicks you out of it and brings his own people and people who doesn't even know from everywhere to inhabit your land and make you work for them as a slave. And if some people say, hey, this is our land, you stole our land, they kill them and their families, and they take the rest of their lands. And when some real men stand up for them to defend whatever is remaining from their land, they are called terrorists, and they get blamed from all the other neighbors. And whenever they decide to defend their lands and get it back with power, as it was taken with power, their families and children get killed inhumanely. Would you defend your land to get every piece of it back? Or leave it for them and forget all about it and live your life? Of course I would do whatever it takes to get my land back, even if it cost me my life. That's exactly what they did.